And hello, everybody. We're back. So, yeah, I I was racing, and then of course I've DNF'd, and we've had stream issues. So, I am now just taking over. In the meantime, there's a few fierce battles. Frank and Evie are side by side within the first sector. They're still side by side, followed by Pangri, who's closely following them behind. Looks like Evie's going to be able to get ahead though from ERS, as it looks like. This is what it's looking like right now. Aurelian is flying ahead with then a nice train from Carlson down to Jericho's P2 to P6, and then P7. Bottom Marco is managed to fly away now. He has gapped Evie, which then Evie is trailing Frank, Pangri, and Quill behind, followed by then Raphael, Scott, Belzu, David, Libnow, and Lord Percival. Hello, Darius. Working?
Hi, Cameron. How are you? What happened in the race?
I'm good.
Did you?
So I got collected in an incident, turn 2 or whatever. Yeah, got collected in an incident. Then I'm trying to think what even happened. I pitted for front wing and stuff, and then a few laps later I spun, got front wing damage, tried to repair my wing. The game didn't repair my wing. So,
the lads are asking just to put the tyres on. Bashi's name.
oh yeah, hello Bashi. Sorry for not joining you. Scott has retired in the pit lane. I thought maybe there it might have been a DNF. He has left, so hopefully that isn't going to cause any issues. Evie was lagging a bit there, it looked like. But yeah, there's the tyres already, and maybe that's the reason why he's flying ahead, because he has decided to go onto the soft tyres at the start of this race. Ken is on mediums, Jericho is on mediums, and then Pangri and Quill are also on the medium common tyres. Everyone else is on the hards. I will say, you know how we said the drivers should stay on the same tyre which they did in the first lobby?
They all have.
Oh,
Libna's
crashing. Oh, and it's a safety car, and this is pitch perfect for the man in P1 right now, Aurelian. This is just perfect for him.
Ideal situation for him, as he was in his safety car window.
And he is in. That will be hards until the end, most likely. Will the other drivers behind follow? They will. So Carlson is in, Mustache is in. Pretty much everyone is. Bottom Marker having to slow down because he is going to have to double stack with Jericho, but shouldn't lose any positions because he does have a 3-second gap to WR Eve behind. It's just a matter of all the drivers getting into the pits safely. Looks like everyone's going mediums, which, to be fair, by the time we're restarting, it should probably be lap 14, 15, which, yeah, the mediums can go. So this does make sense, but now leaves Ken and Jericho massively compromised on those hard tyres, same as Pangri and Quill. Those four were on the mediums, now having been forced to go on to the hards, and then Vilzo, David, and Lord Percival are also probably going to end up going on mediums. Yes, so this will be, it'll be very interesting for those four on the hards and seeing what will happen there.
The race will come back to them towards the end. The mediums can comfortably go 17 laps, 18 laps around here. Pace will drop off rapidly after about lap 11 or 12. They will fall off the cliff.
I can get
which is where
lifespan until cliff dash puncture. So cliff is at 16 laps, the puncture is at 19 laps. So yeah, their tires will be.
My homework is good to see.
Yeah, their tires will be like on the cliff by the time we're at the end of the race, which will make it interesting. The
Yeah.
hards, they'll be fine. Ken and Jericho, although they won't be fast at the start here, it'll all be about the end of the race for those four on the hard tires.
Now, the only thing here is if another safety car is to come out, it kind of ruins the hard runners' chances, making up a lot of places.
Yeah, that
This is
is
great.
very
This is
true.
music to the ears for the Aston Martin of Rafael, though, who had a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car and has now brought himself right back into
Wow, did
contention
he?
and caught up with the rest of the pack. Yeah, he did. Yeah,
So that's how
speeding
he
under the
dropped
ESC.
back. Because
Mm-hmm.
I was. Pangry just went off track there. Don't know what happened. Yeah, I was wondering because, of course, I was still driving then, and I saw Raphael and Aston Martin drop back massively. That is Pangry
Yeah.
going in, and Raphael again. Raphael, I'm not sure. Pangry, I think, is going to go on to the mediums. Is he? Yeah, Pangry's going
I'm
on to the
assuming Panos
mediums.
will. Yeah.
Raphael is
Rafael's going another
going
set. No, he's
hards.
going to go into the hards. Interesting. Very interesting. Rafael obviously thinks that the mediums will not last till the end.
Because of course he was on the mediums, so that is interesting. Maybe he's thought,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be better. I want to be better at the end rather than be the same as everyone else.
Yeah. Well,
I have to see
Aurelian's been
how that
dominating
works.
this race. Very quick in qualifying. Was lightning
27
ahead, just
for.
streaking ahead there. Yeah, it's just crazy pace.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully we can give him some competition for next season.
Yeah.
Might have.
Um,
We might have a few drivers. I have been messaging one. You don't even know because he was just messaging me tonight about racing. He's in TF10, so I would probably be teammates with David, I would presume, because he's shown interest in racing before, but he hasn't. Believe he's in PSGL PSF2, I
oh,
think.
lovely.
You know, I'm just going to say the name. Dirk, if you know him. TF10 Dirk, if you know him. might be ERO bound soon. But anyways,
The safety cars in this lap.
safety cars in this lap, so Aurelian, of
Medium
course,
runners are
will
going to hope to
lead
streak
the
away
way.
here.
Yeah, they will. The top four will try their best to drop Ken and Jericho here, I think. Of course, Jericho and Marco Bottom, I should say, sorry, they aren't teammates. They're both standing in as a reserves today, I believe. Or Jericho's standing in. Marco might be in Williams. So there won't.
Time, but Jericho's
Yeah.
time.
So there won't be any team orders there, as Aurelian has went, and has he got a gap? It's a comfortable gap of 3.5 tenths. Is there any close battles behind those? The question.
As William Carlton is closing in, going into turn one. It doesn't. It looks to make a move actually into turn one, and it's going to get that to stick. As Aurelian dropped 2 places, he may have had a lock up there, which is unusual for him.
Is the same as
William
now.
Carlton leading this race.
A PC driver on PlayStation leading the race is Marco and Eve are fighting behind side by side through some difficult corners here as Ken Jericho's still staying there in P5, P6. But yeah, Aurelian dropping down these 2 positions just at the start here. Quill and David fighting side by side. Quill gets the position. As well, side by side between Raphael and David through the left-hander of turn 11, I believe it is.
10.
You barely 10. Yeah, you barely see he overtakes there, but David tried it.
I think since Fernando Alonso made it popular this year, in real life, overtaking Lewis Hamilton, everyone has decided turn 10 is now an overtaking zone.
It's an overtaking zone, yeah.
Which is not, but
so
it's not for someone with poor racecraft.
So yeah, Carlson leading the way, followed by Mustache, who looks like he's burning quite a lot of ERS. He is going to look for the move for the lead here. Carlson is not using any of his ERS, and Mustache, just like that, the French and the Lara driver is up into the lead of the race. Just another interesting thing. Ken Jericho's still there, but Eve is closing. He was quite far behind. He is closing. So, but I mean, it's still lovely to see that this is a full DRS train, except for Lord Percival, who's slightly just fallen out at the back.
Raphael and Quill are battling in turn 4 here. Raphael taking the wide line, has gotten the move to stick and stayed on the track, heading into the S's. Quill has to follow him now.
Quill tried to get the switchback there as well. It's a send from Pangri, a little bit of contact, but if he can get this, it is a clean move. A bit of tyre locking with one another, and it is going to be side by side through turn 9 and turn 10 between the McLaren and the Mercedes, and it is going to be Quill who does stay ahead through turn 10. Pangri will look to get the overtake done sometime soon, though, I would imagine, as the gaps up ahead are slightly opening up as drivers are now saving their ERS, just trying not to use as much, because you do gain quite a lot of ERS at this track. It's roughly 6.5% ERS per lap if you don't use anything. So yeah, you do gain quite a bit here. So for drivers like Carlson, you're going to want to use when you're on 80%, as he is using now to gain back to Mustache, who has drained his battery down to 35%.
And DRS is now enabled this lap, as Panos and Quill are going to be going side by side into turn 1 by the looks of it. Panos using ERS to get the head here. Takes the inside line, manages to make the move stick. Quill has to sit in the position, but he is going to have DRS, as has Panos as well. The whole field has DRS now nearly.
An interesting
Frank further upfield. Sorry, just got across your camera.
It's fine. As I was just going to say something there. Since Carlson and Mustache were burning their ERS so much, Aurelian has dropped out of DRS range. He just fell out, but now he's going to use ERS to try to get back in, but he isn't going to be able to do so. So although Aurelian is trying to save ERS here, he isn't in DRS, and he's going to fall behind to the drivers behind, like RCR Nassim, Kenny, and Jericho.
Yeah, he's going to be exposed here now if he doesn't catch up in the next straight, which he probably will do. He'll probably burn some of his battery off to do so. Carlson's a great chance here to lose Aurelian if he can keep him at a DRS now as well.
Aurelian's set a purple middle sector, though. He's sending it right now to get back into the DRS. He's got his full battery in. And is he going to get it, though? Because Carlson is right behind Mustache. No, don't believe he does. But
look like it.
He does have an 8/10 gap to Nassim because of the amount of pushing he done. So he should be fine into turn 1 here. As there we go, Carlson sets a new fastest lap and also goes up into P1 of this race.
As Morgan is now going to have DRS on Carlson going into the runoff of turn 4. He just needs to get a good exit out of turn 2 here. Looks to have done so. And now, is he going to make a move? He's gaining. Does he pick the inside line? Elects not to make a move here and to follow behind.
Yeah, I mean, that's the smart decision here. Just turn up into turn 1 is basically the main overtaking zone here on this race. As Frank has got a 3-second time penalty, and he is fighting with Raphael there. He was previously fighting with David, but then something must have happened because he has fallen back quite a bit, plus also getting that 3-second time penalty, as Aurelian has not gotten DRS yet again.
And Morgan has got a good exit here at turn 10. He's going to be gaining on William here for turn 11. He's going to make a move on the inside. He elects again not to, patiently waiting for the prime opportunity to do so, which, as you said, Cameron, is the main straight.
Yeah, for sure, because I mean, it doesn't make sense to overtake anywhere else on the track when you're just going to be overtaken again on the straight, or on either DRS straight, really. As Mustache has
dropping off a tiny bit off Nassim's pace here now.
Yeah, Mustache burning the ERS there to keep Aurelian out of DRS yet again. Aurelian, I don't want to say struggling here because he's clearly not, but it's interesting to see whether or not he's going to be able to get back in DRS. His Mustache has gotten the move done on Carlson, but he has locked up into turn 1. Is he going to be able to keep it though? Because he's on an awkward line now, and Carlson is going to prioritise the exit. Will he look for a move? I don't believe he will. No, it looks like he will stay behind for now and keep it safe through turn 4
I think these
and
drivers
into the
both
second
realise
sector.
that they don't want to let Aurelian back into the race. That's why they're
Yes,
not fighting each other apart from in the main straight.
which is
They
very
know how
close because
fast
Aurelian
he
is now in that 1 second range, and the DRS detection point is coming up right about now. Is he going to get it? It looks like he will. So
Yes.
Aurelian back in DRS range, which will be crucial as now that is a DRS chain from P1 all the way down to P14.
Great stuff. You love to see it. You love a close grid.
Yes, we do indeed.
And Nassim is also entering the fray here as well. He's gaining and gaining on Aurelian too.
Ken
Just under
is
half a
close.
second.
Ken is close to outside of DRS. He has to burn the very small amount of DRS he has. He's only got 10% here, and the gap between him and Nassim ahead is balancing between that 1 second. As Nassim is using and Ken is using, they're both on 0% ERS, but can he get DRS? The question. He's not. So Ken is now out of DRS, so it is top 4 with DRS now, and it's all to play for Jericho and the drivers behind.
And look at the gap now with Aurelian. He was over a second away. Now he's less than half a second in, coming into turn 1 here, and he's going to have DRS, and he may make a run through here into turn 4 if he feels it, because he hasn't got the ERS offset on Carlson, but he does on Mustache. Mustache is a bit vulnerable here now for the later parts of this race.
Carlson looked like he was going to go potentially for a move there, but I believe he was just weaving to cut the toe from Aurelian behind, which doesn't make sense. Oh, he has had an error there though, and Aurelian might send it here. No, he does not. He thinks better of it, but I thought there it would have been an interesting send if he did decide to go for that. It definitely would have been an interesting move to see, as there is fighting behind between Raphael and David for P10. Slight tap between the two. Raphael has to correct himself, and now he's going to drop up massively to Vilzu behind. Going to have to burn quite a bit of his ERS there to kind of get any comfortable 8/10 zone, but yeah, it looks like Ken won't be able to get back in DRS anytime soon. Jericho though, nearly has dropped Eve behind, which is interesting to see, because of course that's hards to medium difference between those two in P6 and P7.
Yes. And now Frank with his second time penalty as well, he's really going to have to push on if he wants to make any gains in this race.
As there goes Carlson back up into the lead of the race. He overtakes Mustache. There is a spin at the back, and that is Frank.
And it is Frank.
Frank has spun on the last corner, and he speeds into the pit lane, probably to retire. Yes, yeah, so that's unfortunate for him.
His day is over. Further back up the field, William Carlson leading this race with Morgan Mateu closely behind, as well as Aurelian Lepenru. Great stuff to see. There's a nice little train forming here. Nearly the whole field. Kalle Pukkanen is the cap, or on top of the bottle of the DRS right here. David Fernandez is also another driver outside of DRS. Raphael has made a move past Vilzu for P9 as he begins his charge up the field.
Yeah, I think it was a very interesting strategy choice, but a correct one for Raphael here, going on to the hard component tires rather than staying on the mediums, because look at what he's been able to do in the few laps. As Lord Percival's had an incident at the back, looks like just an incident through turn 9, turn 10 by himself. He ends up spinning and now dropping 7/10 behind the field.
Unfortunately for him. Further up the field again, Mustache closely following behind William, and now less than half a second separate Aurelian and Morgan.
Yeah, it's very, very close.
Kenny though.
Ken's so close to the DRS, but he isn't going to be able to, and Jericho is going to fly by, and Jericho now up into that P5 position. And the question is, can he be the one to get into the DRS range of Nassim ahead? Jericho has 10%, Nassim also has 10, so very similar ERS amounts for the two drivers in P4 and P5. Aurelian 35%, Mustache 30%, Carlson 55%. It's a very interesting that he has the most in this current DRS train, as it looks like Jericho is going to get DRS. Yeah, so Jericho getting the move done on Ken was very, very important, as he is now up into the P5 position, plus
As
got DRS on the drivers ahead.
Marco.
Yeah,
Turn 10.
through turn 10. He loves an overtaking turn 10, Raphael, now.
Obviously, we're practicing this in APL. As Evan now is looking at Ken here, and he's going to think he needs to start making gains when he's got a lot of battery to burn. And the medium tyres, they only have a few more laps left in that shelf life before things start to go south.
Oh, but Marco off the track.
So,
Yeah, just off the track there around turn 13, just a little error.
oh, okay.
He ends up going off the track, did lose a slight bit of time as well. Raphael's had a massive moment there. Out the last corner, he's managed to save it, but now Marco is right behind him and might look for the move into turn 1 here. Is right on board, Aston Martin taking the defensive line. The Williams is going to stay behind, which I would say is a smarter decision here, but can he potentially look for a move into turn 4 in the second DRS straight? It doesn't look like it, as he wouldn't be close enough to look for anything as of yet.
But
yeah,
interestingly now, Aurelian 43% battery and Nassim behind him on 19%. Nassim really has to push to keep up with him here. There's a bit of a gap of nearly over half a second following, as Aurelian has a little bit of a shake there coming out of turn 8. All drivers in the top 3 are now starting to harvest ERS and not use it, as they're preparing for one last push in P2 and P3 to make gains.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we see in these top tiers nowadays, is we see the drivers begin to save their ERS within the last 6 to 7 laps for then the last lap or 2, as quite a few drivers like to end on a high and try get up to the top of the grid at the end of the race. As Aurelian has gained quite a bit of time here in the back of Mustache, and he is within 3 tenths, as would be interesting to see if he might look for a move here. I don't think he will. I think he will just rather harvest his ERS, but he is very close. As Marco down in P9 has picked up a 3-second time penalty. So,
and Mustache is also very close. They're going to turn 1 right in the back of the gearbox of William Carlson. William has a bit of a wobble there at turn 2. Another wobble as well as he enters turn 2.
Is Mustache going to look for it? That's the question.
He's not.
Doesn't look like it. No, he's lifting. He's taken the smart decision.
As by the way, the dirty air of William.
I don't know if you saw, Jericho up into P4 is now even Raphael are fighting for P7 side by side through some crucial corners here of turn 5, turn 6 and turn 7, as Raphael is going for the switchback, and now the dive to the inside, but it looks like he potentially hit the rear of Eve. He might have got front wing damage potentially there. I'm not entirely sure, but he's now got Marco all over the rear of the Aston Martin. I'm trying to see if there's any damage on that Aston. Doesn't look like it. It might be very minor.
Close to the behind of bottom Marco as well. And Bilder almost goes into the back of him there in turn 11.
Yeah. So look at Aurelian.
Aurelian rapidly closing in on Mustache here. Morgan has to break this now if he's any chance of hope of winning this race, because he will be exposed on the main straight here. The gap is very small, less than 2 tenths.
Yeah, I think we might see a move here from Aurelian.
Yeah.
But I'm not entirely sure, because I think Aurelian might just wait for Mustache and Carlson to battle whenever that does happen in these final few laps of the race, as Mustache is gaining.
And it looks to be happening now.
But he does lift. No, they don't risk it now, because that's the thing. If they start now, it's going to be chaos for our remaining 5 laps of this race. So they kind of just want to leave it until the last lap, maybe the last 2 laps potentially, as potentially Eve might look on the move here on Raphael, because Raphael, as you can see, is outside of that 1 second range. He is using quite a lot of his ERS to catch back up to Ken, who's ahead in that P6 position. But right now, it's looking like Raphael potentially might not be getting DRS, although he is pushing, and Ken has had a small mistake. It's going to be super close, but he does get it. So he saves the DRS train now to continue being top 10, which is massive.
Fantastic stuff from all these drivers today so far. No massive shunt, for instance.
I mean, there was a start, but that's expected at the start of the race.
It's turn 1, lap 1.
Yes, but then of course we've
And
had a
as
safety
Aurelian's
car which brought
very
everyone
close.
back into it.
Yes, unfortunately, Scotty Harrison to DNF. So 4 laps to go. The top 3 hasn't changed for quite some time now, and ERS-wise, the top 3 drivers have maintained their ERS levels very well here. Jericho Boggos, has to be said, has had a phenomenal drive from the back of the grid for the second night in a row. Did this last time the crossplates here. Started P18, finished P1 by over 6 seconds.
Oh, it's just a
And
send.
he survived now.
Ken versus Nassim behind. Sorry, I was watching Jericho as well, but Ken was looking on the move there on Nassim into turn 1, and he did send it, but no move got done. However, Ken has a better line out of the exit here of turn 4. Both the drivers are flashing, which is not good for the end of this race when potentially Raphael could look for overtakes, as, I mean, Raphael doesn't have much more either.
Evan has a massive battery differential to the two drivers ahead of him, and he's going to be looking to take both of them in the last 3 laps of this race.
Yes, he does have a lot. He does have 70%, which is so much. Yeah. And I think we will see quite a lot of that be used. I think lap 28, I would say, is when we will see a lot of that get deployed. That would be my guess. As Pangri has now pitted, he looks to be going for the fastest lap of the race, because of course in Ero, the driver with the fastest lap is given the point if they finish the race. No matter the position, as long as you finish the race, you get the fastest lap point. So Pangri, thinking ahead.
I think we're going to see a move here. Sorry to cut across you. If there's a clean exit here from Aurelian, I think there's going to be a move now.
Yeah,
it looks like he is using DRS wide open. He's going to get past Morgan.
But the slipstream from Mustache on Carlson. Carlson having to defend both drivers here, and he takes a brilliant line to defend it. And it is going to be Mustache and Aurelian side by side through turn 1 and turn 2. And who's going to be ahead? It is going to be Aurelian. And will he look for a move now on Carlson down into turn 4? He's gaining and gaining. He's going to look up the inside, but he isn't going to try anything as of yet, as we now have 3 more laps. Aurelian up into P2, he's going to look for the win, because of course this is PS F1, and we have a PC driver leading the race, so will we see PC or PS win? Yeah, exactly. As there's the Raphael Ken fight. No, they're still side by side. It's going to be turn 10 again for Raphael and Ken. As Raphael switch back, and it is somewhat of a dangerous move, but Raphael has gotten it, and now it's Eve and Ken's dropped back. Bottom Markle's going for the move on Ken into turn 11. It's utter chaos in the third last lap of the race here, as Bottom Markle has gotten past after a slight bit of contact with Ken. And just like that, Raphael won't be getting DRS, so you could maybe say this wasn't a good idea for him, as of course that send to turn 10 was something else. It was literally an Alonso. But rather than Aston Martin and Mercedes, it was Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo.
And I'll tell you one thing, Aurelian has gotten a better exit out of the last turn than Carlson here, and he's got DRS. He's not using his battery though. The slipstream is very, very powerful with DRS.
Yeah,
he's not to make the move into turn 1 though.
But Morgan does! It's Morgan sent on the inside. Oh, he did. You saw, I don't know if you saw, Mustache did look for it. As Eve and Raphael fight, and Eve managed to get up P6, like we said. He used that ERS, but he's having to take a defensive line, and we're going to see Bottom Marco and Raphael fight side by side here for that P7 position. The hards versus the mediums. What is going to be the better tyre? They're going to be side by side. Raphael is probably going to look for a send here. Down on the inside. Yes, he is. There he goes. Is he going to get the move done, however, for P7? Of course, he will be ahead at the end of this race because of that time penalty Bottom Marco has. But Raphael is doing another send into turn 10. Is he going to get this move done?
Contact.
Another bit of contact.
He's got a brand bot off the track. He's got a brand bot off the track, hasn't he? Unfortunately, as Eve now wants to get into the DRS here of Nassim, if he has any chance of catching P5, I don't think he's going to be able to, even with the battery differential, as Nassim is using every single bit of juice he has left in the tank.
Yeah, I think Eve is just going to try hold on to that P6.
I agree with you completely here.
Because Raphael is closing behind, although he doesn't have any ERS, he's mainly going to be defending. So yeah, Eve will be defending, I think. But here we go. The last lap of the race, and Carlson is doing the weave and burning all of his ERS. and Aurelian is not close enough right now to look for any move. So are we potentially going to see an upset here in PlayStation F1? Are we going to see a PC driver win on a one-off occurrence with crossplay enabled in PSF1? Well, we might see it in the next few races. But Aurelian is gaining and gaining, but he's not going to be close enough.
He's
But
going to
of
have
course,
two more
there's the rest of the track.
Yeah.
So who knows?
As they go through the S's.
He's got the third DRS zone to overtake. Yeah. And that is basically it. So he needs a good exit out of these final two corners here. Turn 9 and turn 10. If he can get a good exit here compared to Carlson, it's game on for the rest of this. It's an even turn for both of them. And Carlson is going to stay ahead. And is that going to be it? Is Carlson gotten the win? Is Aurelian's actually... They're both flashing fuel. As Aurelian is gaining and gaining. This is going to go to the line. We might even see a side-by-side here on the final corner. As Aurelian is gaining and gaining, and Carlson is nothing left. Mustache a 3 second. That is crucial. As Jericho will be on the podium. As Aurelian is sent it. And it's going to be side-by-side on the final corner. Both the drivers have snaps. But it's going to be William Carlson winning PlayStation F1.
Gets a 3-second time penalty as well.
Jericho on the podium after starting in P19. Mustache manages to just hang on to P4 after picking up that 3-second time penalty. And it's going to be even P5. Ken in P6. Vilzu P7. Nassim P8. Botomarco P9. And David P10. Of course, I think Raphael was higher, so was Quill. But of course they have left the session, so that will be noted, so the standings is not wrong. But wow, what a race. That was so interesting.
Game of cat and mouse for the top three for nearly 2/3 of the race. Great stuff from them. Fantastic showing from William Carlson here, showing his true pace against the fastest drivers in Ero.
Yeah, an absolutely brilliant race here. So it's ATX Carlson winning in PlayStation F1. A PC driver. We had 4 PC drivers here today just to get the numbers up, plus also test them for next season. And Carlson has done it. He's beaten the top PlayStation drivers in a way. And yeah, what an incredible result for him. I do have to say though, driver of the day, as the game awarded, and also my driver of the day, non-biased, because people will agree, is Jericho. P19,
yeah,
the back of the grid, to a podium. What an incredible race for him. As the final results...
You hit the nail on the head.
Yep, the final results is Carlson in P1, followed by F7R Aurelian, potentially PSGLF, PSF1 champion. We will see if he can do it at Bahrain tomorrow. Jericho then in P3, Mustache P4, Eve P5, then Ken and Vilzu P6 and P7, followed by Nassim in P8, then Raphael P9, then Botomarco P10, David P11, and then Quill in P12. That is your point finishers, because of course in Ero, top 12 is the points. So, thank you everyone for watching today's stream. Of course, it was across 2 streams, and we're sorry about that. Just a bit of midst chaos. I will say this though, and I'm kind of happy that I am kind of commentating, so I can say this. Watch out in the next week. Information about Season 12 will be coming out. Of course, Season 11 has been a great season. It's been It's been a transitional season as I, Cameron Don, have taken over as owner from the previous owner. But Season 12, and I've hyped it up, and I'm happy to finally reveal it in the next few days, in the next week at least, about Season 12. The biggest prize pool, which Ero has saw, bigger than this season's. This season's is, of course, €280 provided to us by Sim Racing Centre, our main affiliation, and our main title affiliation, I should say. And yeah, really looking forward to sharing information in the next few days. Watch out in the Ero Discord. Don't forget to join that. Ero F1 is the link to join in the Discord server, and also watch out on social media pages because Ero is going to be back on social media pages, hopefully on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Twitter. We're hoping to be posting on all those platforms. And yeah, I mean, don't know if you've saw on Twitter, the date is February 1st, which is this Thursday. So look out this Thursday. Big season 12 news. We're revealing the start time, the prize pool. Sign-ups will also be opening on the 1st. So yeah, big news. Something which us admins have been cooking for quite a while, and yeah, we're really looking forward to showing what the future of Aero looks like, because the future is very good. It is going to be a great season next season. Do you want to say anything else, Zulf, before we go?
No, you hit the nail on the head, Cameron. We've been working very hard this season to make sure things are steady and calm throughout the year or
Yes.
throughout the season. We thank everybody for racing with us and to keep on keeping their faith in us and trust in us as we steer the ship. Yeah, we've all been working. The whole admin team is working very hard to make sure things are correct, as you said. And big news coming February 1st, which is next week.
Yep, so everyone, be on the lookout for February 1st, but it's all from me, Cameron, and Zulf. And yeah, of course, although Season 12 information is coming out, Season 11 is not over yet. We have 2 more rounds. Next week, we're going to be going to another Asian track, and that is the recently introduced track of Qatar. So that will be a very interesting race. Some titles being decided next week potentially. PlayStation F2, I know that the Red Bull driver of Alex Sapkota, I believe, just needs to score 2 or 3 points to win the championship next week. So
Mm-hmm.
that will be interesting to look out for. And I believe as well, PlayStation F4. Daniel Ero
Yep.
Blackwolf might potentially be winning his first Ero championship, which would be incredible because he is a former admin, also been racing in Aero since I think nearly the
The
very
dawn of
beginning.
time.
Yeah, since near the very beginning. So yeah, that will be an interesting race. PlayStation F3 is kicking off as well. That might be getting decided next week as well. It'll be interesting to see.
It's already decided.
Is it?
As Martin Lobb is already champion with the
Oh,
Mercedes driver, because Mentelson unfortunately was taken out. But he was involved in a massive shunt
a mass.
on Friday night.
I didn't even know that.
So
So Martin is already champion there. So there you go.
Martin's pretty
PlayStation
top kid.
F3 is already decided, but the constructors is still going, I believe, right? Or has Mercedes won it?
Mercedes, I think, don't need to score points.
Okay, so
So
F3
they will be
is.
doing this special
Oh
special
yeah,
event. The special event will be probably in F4 and in F3.
that'll be very. I mean, last round we should see special events across the board potentially. Oh yeah,
Potentially, yeah.
in special
Be very
events,
exciting.
look out on February 1st for that because you're thinking, what is special events? Well, like I said, the season 12 stuff is going to be interesting, and there's things called special events in Euro season 12, so look out for that as well. But yeah, that's all from us, and we will see you next week for Euro season 11, round 11 at Qatar. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week.